If you're a local tradie or service business owner and your only SEO strategy is hope they find my homepage, well, mate, you might as well be hiding under a rock in Frankston. A single suburb page done properly can outrank directories, bring in daily leads, and actually get your phone ringing outside your own postcode. I'll show you exactly how to build one that works. I'm Madison, and I'm an SEO consultant based in Melbourne, and I work with service businesses like HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, you name it. I build suburb pages that actually rank and actually get calls, not just tick some SEO box that doesn't get results. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact structure I use to build high-performing location pages. So whether you're targeting Brighton, Brunswick, or Bairnsdale, this will work for you. The truth is that most service businesses either don't have location pages at all, or they've got one sad little page copied and pasted 12 times with the suburb name swapped out. Google's not dumb. If your Brighton page is identical to your Bentley page, it's not going to rank unless you're trying to rank for duplicate content penalties. And then there are the ones who do rank, but their page is so vague or generic that no one's clicking, no one's calling, and the only thing converting is their bounce rate. I see this all the time. Homepages doing all the heavy lifting and service pages buried and no suburb relevance anywhere. That might have worked in 2012, but now it just makes you invisible. If you're not showing Google and your customers why you're the go-to for that specific area, you're handing leads to your competitors on a silver platter. A great location page does three things. It ranks, it builds trust, and it gets the phone ringing. That means it's not just written for Google, it's written for real people in a real suburb. You need content that's unique, hyper relevant, and conversion focused. I'm talking suburb specific services, real photos, trust signals, FAQs. That's what actually works. If someone in Brighton lands on your page, they should feel like you're the local expert, not just some fly in, fly out operator from the other side of town. And when you do it right, that one page can do the work of 5. All right, so let's walk through the perfect location page layout, section by section, so you know exactly what to include and why it matters. All right, so here we are. I have mocked up a location page just for you. Don't hate me for it. I think it's still pretty good as I did it quite quickly. However, all the principles are going to apply. So when you're thinking about the first section on the page, this is the hero section. This gets Google's attention and it gets the customer's attention. So every part of this web page, we need to be considering SEO and user experience. So in terms of SEO, we need to make the H1 whatever the topic is about, whatever the main keyword is about. So that will be your main service plus the suburb. And I've put the H1 here, as you can see, air conditioning Richmond, which is the broad topic plus the suburb. Also, it's going to tell the customer that this is the right site, the website that they've gone on to. So you've satisfied SEO and user experience here. You can sometimes have a separate introduction section where you go through kind of a little summary of what the web page is about. However, I like to put this all on the hero page, on the hero section. So here I've just put some lorem ipsum text, but here you want to include roughly what you do and why you're relevant to Richmond. If you're close by or you service this area, include it here. Also include natural language processing keywords. These are keywords that are related to your main topic and they help Google basically associate your website, your web page with that original topic. It's going to increase the likelihood that you are more relevant. Then I would have a quick call to action. Some have call us, or book now. Book now is always a good one. Then on the other side, I would be including a photo. And this is your chance to improve the user experience by having a quality photo of your actual staff, your team, on the job, on the tools, doing something. If there's a client there as well, you can also have a photo of both in one photo. I'm just using stock photos for the example, but definitely you need to put a legitimate photo of your business. If you haven't got photos of your company, start doing that immediately. So you can put that here. Sometimes another option is that you can have this as a whole image, this whole section be an image, and then this is like kind of more central, and yeah, you can actually put a form there, which is very good idea. You can put a form here. However, just clicking there allows you to go straight to the contact page that is dedicated to converting. So either way, I've chosen to do it this way. I think it's great. And most builders will allow you to do this. So this is the main section, hero section, that gets their attention. They're going to click off usually. This is above the fold, as we say, and they're either going to click off immediately or they're going to continue scrolling. So get their attention here. Now, the next section I like to include is a air conditioning services or trade services, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, whatever your services are. If you don't already have services and service pages for each one of the services that you offer, well, you're in a bit of a pickle, because this actually allows you to increase the internal linking, the SEO value of the page. It's going to have a bunch of different internal links, as you can see, to each and every single one of your services that you offer in this specific area. I would tailor the heading as a H2 and use the keywords services, use the suburb as well, and basically either do it in a box or icon format in rows of 3 or 4. Yes, if you have so many services to where it's like 10, where it gets to like 20, 30 services, I would only include your main services, because this can get very, very long. So you're going to start with a H2. You're going to have each boxes as H3s. So each one of these is going to be a H3. I have only set them to H5s, but that's because I didn't have time to do it. But they should all be H3s and very simple to do. And then a short paragraph after each H3, not going super in depth into any specific thing that is not already on the page. You want to just have a brief summary of what the service is. Don't ruin the SEO value of this page and take away from the actual page. I would have a specific link down here with an anchor text. You can use something that is more is a better call to action. Learn more isn't the best call to action. However, this can be book now. It could be view and then the specific service. However, maybe even explore now. Those tend to work quite well. And then if you can do a little icon or photo, make sure they're all consistent across the board in terms of size and dimensions. I've just put in a random little thing here, but if you have a unique icon that you can get created or find on the internet, that can work very well. As you can see, I've chosen to do air conditioning service, air conditioning repair, installation, ducted air conditioning. This is providing more depth to your site and to the user. And it actually, when they see this on your website, they're going to think, okay, they actually do what I'm looking for. So that is why you need to have this here. Okay. The next section is a brief little section that I encourage. It's not mandatory, but it should be somewhere on all your pages. It's your certifications. If you're a tradie in Australia, it's highly regarded to have and display your certifications. In terms of air conditioning, we've got Arctic, the VBA, which is the Victorian Building Association, the ARA, which is just the HVAC and R basic organization. But any other certifications or awards look beautiful here. They're very nice to put right here in just a little strip. I would consider this almost like a trust badge, trust section. It's showing that you are certified, and there have been a lot of reports going around in Australia where unlicensed tradies have conducted work that hasn't been very good. So people are very wary of dodgy tradies. So you want to stand out as someone who is reliable, certified, insured, everything like that. Okay. So a little section that is set apart and cleanly shows that you know what you're doing. And Google looks at all this stuff and they analyze your whole site, and trust signals like this do matter. Okay. The next section we're going to go into is the why choose us section. And that shouldn't say Bryden, that should say Richmond. Okay, so this Why Choose Us section in terms of SEO value is going to add more NLP related content. Plus it's going to, in terms of user experience value, it's going to set you apart. That's the whole point of this section. So when we consider what we're going to do with the heading structure, we're going to use another H2 here. Same with that was a H2. And we're going to put Richmond in the heading as well. Just stressing that Richmond, you don't have to overuse it. Yes, I've used it a few times here, but you don't have to always use it. And then a decent sized paragraph, maybe 100, 150 words here with a bunch of icon boxes with ticks. That always works very well. It shows that you look professional and that you actually have something that is unique. So if you've got 50 plus years of experience or 100 plus years of experience, you need to put that here. It's very important that you set yourself apart, that you are you're an industry expert and you're licensed. If you do same day service or you're 24 hours, a lot of businesses don't do that. So if you do that, include that here. And then I would pair this with a photo. I've chosen another stock photo. However, a photo with a client looks really good here if you can get that, or something where your technician is doing a job for somebody. Don't make this a generic photo. You want to show happy clients and that there is proof that you've done good work for people in this suburb. If you do have a photo of work done in the suburb, even better. That's really good. So this whole section just sets you apart. It encourages your site is trustworthy and just adds value in terms of the content on your page. The next section I've included is more of like a section where it's your work, the work that you've done. It's more focused on that, but I've also combined it as a process, our process. And you'll see here, see our work in Richmond. And I've used the H2 again, but you can see here, there is a photo with 1, 2, 3, 4 steps involved. People like to see a straightforward process. So in terms of user experience, it shows that you say what you're going to do. You have a set process, you're organized, you're prepared, and it's very easy for them to get in touch and get the work done. They don't like to mess around. People don't like hassles, right? I would encourage here either a photo or a slide through of work being done before and afters. This doesn't actually have to have a process, as you can see here. However, I would encourage you to put a process in this page somewhere if it's not here. So in terms of the photo, we need to focus on the before and after or work that's been done. Take photos of your work all the time. This doesn't just have value on your page, on this web page, has value across all of your website and other profiles outside of your website. And it just shows more social proof. It shows that you actually get the work done. It shows you're a real business and there is a clear process to get started doing work. Okay. Very important section. And it doesn't have to be a static photo. It can be a slider. The next section is extremely important for social proof and to show that you are good at what you do. Here, I have chosen to do a 3 in one row of reviews. However, what I would encourage if you're using WordPress, there are several WordPress plugins that allow you to use Google reviews that come straight from Google. There's an API or in the plugin and it connects straight to your Google My Business profile and it extracts those reviews. That looks better than this. When I see this, I obviously as an SEO, I think you're not getting the most value that you can. However, just for demonstration purposes, I put them like this. However, opt for the Google every time with the logo and it will show your star rating. You can even if you didn't have that, you could put a star rating down here as well for whatever your average star rating is. Another H2, what Richmond locals are saying, what my happy clients are saying, and yeah, just quote the specific text that they used with their photo. However, the plugin does it all for you. Now we're going to go down to one of the last sections, which is the frequently asked questions section. In terms of SEO value, this is able to rank for specific long tail keywords that you may not have thought of that you could even rank for. So having a good question and answer that are specifically relevant to what Richmond locals experience. And you might think, well, what is really different about Richmond and the next suburb? Well, Richmond specifically has some heritage listed houses and things that are unique. And I think that putting them in here and showing that this isn't just a copy and pasted page is very important to building that trust. So include some unique questions that you have gotten for people in Richmond, or just come up with them. I'm sure if you think hard enough, you can understand that there are some unique stuff about what is actually in Richmond. I would also quote specific landmarks that are in Richmond. The MCG is in Richmond, the biggest stadium in the Southern Hemisphere, I think. So quote different local landmarks that are in this section, in this section, because you're going to get some more local relevance. And when people see that, they see that you didn't actually copy it. Use another H2 that you've got here. And yeah, these can either be, they're usually in the accordion style, as you can see here. It's a toggle. And yeah, that looks really good. Or they can just be in a row. They don't have to be exactly like this. Then your last section is the book your service section, or just a form. So another H2 with a button or a form. Very simple. I won't overcomplicate it. Tell them to do something here. Give them a call to action to book the service, book whatever they need to book, and make it very clear and obvious that they're going to get a response from you. So either link out or have a form. Now, some things to consider across the whole page. When you're writing these paragraphs, make sure that you are, like I mentioned before, listing local landmarks from time to time. Don't overdo it. Do it naturally. You're going to have to do that. So I would even list it in this first paragraph here, and that's going to show that you are super relevant if you've listed something there, and because it's right at the front. And Google's looking at the top of your site first to see relevance, right? You can also, I would consider adding them potentially in this section. This is the local section. So definitely add in some local landmarks here, some things that happen locally. And then I would also add them in the frequently asked questions. Okay, that's where you're going to add them. Now, in terms of some of the metadata, you're going to add metadata on all your images. So we're talking about image alt text. So if this is air conditioning Richmond and you have a photo of something that's happening in Richmond, make sure to use air conditioning Richmond in the image alt text. Make it natural. If it's with a client, you would write something helping a client with their air conditioning in Richmond, right? So something that's relevant, not super spammy. And do the same for all these icons. Make sure every single icon and image has a specific image alt text. Then in terms of your title tag and your meta description, keep it very simple. Air conditioning in Richmond or air conditioning Richmond, and just something short and sweet to combine with that, right? Maybe one of those lines or a dash, and then something very brief. Has to be 60 characters or below. And then in terms of your meta description, a call to action, again, use air conditioning in Richmond, although it doesn't specifically affect SEO, but it tells the user that the web page is correct and they're going to click it. So make it a good call to action. And yeah, that is where we are at with this web page. Make sure that you're keyword, your primary keyword is used. Make sure it's used H1 in the paragraph and naturally throughout. So that is the mock-up of the location page. And you can use this as a base to make an extremely high ranking location page. That's the anatomy of a high performing suburb page. If you follow this structure and write it like a human, not an SEO robot, you're going to outrank half your competitors and probably get more calls than your homepage. So how many location pages should you actually build? Well, the short answer is it depends. But let me break it down. Start with your highest value suburbs first, not the furthest ones, not the fanciest ones, the ones with search volume, buyer intent, and where you can actually take the jobs. Then you want to aim for 5 to 10 solid pages to start with. Quality matters way more than quantity here. One great Brighton page will outperform 20 weak copy and paste suburb pages every single time. And don't go nuts pumping out 50 pages in a week. You'll either burn out or get flagged by Google for thin content. Build gradually and build properly, and then use real data to guide which suburbs come next. Look, location pages are one of the most powerful SEO tools for service businesses. They're low effort, but they're high ROI if you build them properly, of course. But don't overthink it. Just follow the structure I laid out. Clear keyword targeting, local relevance, real trust elements, and a strong call to action at the end. If you enjoyed the video, check out this video right here about the ultimate homepage for service businesses. And if you want me to personally review or build your service pages, check out the link in the description. I help Aussie tradies and service business owners turn Google into their best lead source. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.